This is part 33 in the series that covers this sensational war diary written by a platoon leader named Kurt from the motorized SS Division REICH, which in 1942 would become a Panzergrenadier Division, and then in 1943 would become the 2nd SS Panzer Division Das Reich. We're going back to get a better overview of the key role the SS Division REICH played in the breaching of the Moscow defense line, which took place on the night of October 13th to 14th. Using situational maps, associated film footage, and Kurt's diary as a framework, we'll take another look at what is considered the high point in this unit's history. So stick around, it's worth it. I promise. The 10th Panzer Division, which had been advancing up along the Smolensk-Moscow highway, had gotten bogged down by a stiff wall of Russian fortifications, reinforced by a heavily mined area. The SS Division REICH was called upon to clear the way. In the afternoon of October 13th, Divisional Commander Paul Hauser informed Kurt's Regiment Der Führer that Regiment Deutschland, situated to their left, had unexpectedly managed to penetrate into the Soviet defenses. That night, Regiment Der Führer was to attack and swing south with the objective of reaching the highway. In bitter man-versus-man combat, conducted almost exclusively with small arms, the assault groups fought their way, trench by trench, into the enemy positions. October 14th was also a tough day of fighting. Again and again, new, well-camouflaged enemy positions and trenches appeared, some cleverly built into the back slopes of small hills. By the evening of this day of fighting, the positions around the highway, to a width of about 4 kilometers, were in the hands of the SS Regiment Der Führer. Kurt, a member of the 2nd Battalion of this regiment, would swing south against this defensive network. Even while the fighting was still in progress, the brave combat engineers of the 16th Company moved forward along the highway, inspected the bridge with mine-detecting equipment, and removed the mines and explosive charges under heavy enemy fire. The way was now clear for the 10th Panzer Division so that it could continue its advance. Der 14. Oktober 1941. Langsam hat es angefangen zu schneien. Die Kälte. Slowly it begins to snow. It gets bitingly cold and we have neither heavy coats nor blankets. Fortunately, we've at least got warm hats. Just up the hill there are some Russian positions that were still in the process of being excavated. They were still reinforcing their defenses. For the night, I bring my men, those who are not providing security, to a deep, wide hole. It's so large that a ladder is needed to climb down into it. Using birch branches, we add a rough roof that protects us from the falling snow. Down in the hole, in the middle, we light an open fire and gather around it in a circle, sleeping packed together with our feet towards the flames. Die Nacht bringt uns eine unliebsame Überraschung. During the night, we are woken to a nasty surprise. A Russian plane flies overhead and strafes our hole. Clumps of dirt fly everywhere, but fortunately, no one is hit. Suddenly, we hear the clanking motor sound of Soviet tanks. Trying to make out whether the Russians are mounting a counterattack, by the sound of the movement, it becomes clear that they don't realize our proximity. Evidently, they believe that the positions are still in Russian hands. An anti-tank ditch that stretches out in front of us protects us from a direct attack. Lacking anti-tank guns, engaging the tanks at a distance isn't possible. And the anti-tank ditch keeps us from attacking with our infantry. Während 6 der russischen Panzer At a distance of about 200 meters, 6 of the tanks stop in a line facing us. The 7th approaches the ditch and then begins to traverse along its edge. A heavy mortar crew that had prepared a firing position at the far end of the trench realizes what is happening and manages to move out. Spotting these soldiers, the tank crew throws a number of grenades into the trench, with some exploding and others being duds. With a sudden movement, the tank loses its traction and slips into the ditch. At this opportunity, an assault team jumps into action and with a gas canister and some grenades, puts the Russian tank out of commission. Without firing a shot, the other 6 tanks turn and retreat over the hill into the nearest forested area. From the prisoners of war taken during the fighting on the 13th and 14th of October, it was learned that the ferocious enemy had been the Soviet 32nd Siberian Rifle Division, which had been moved in all the way from the Japanese border. It had been based in Vladivostok and reinforced with 2 new T-34 and KV-2 tank brigades. The Siberians were strong, healthy men and equipped with heavy winter coats, fur hats, and fur-lined boots. They were brave fighters and gave as much punishment as they took. During the combat, there was often no time to fire a rifle. The shovel became the primary weapon. In the fierce hand-to-hand combat, no quarter was received and none given. If you like this kind of content which integrates different primary historical sources, open a free account on our website military1945.com and stay informed. Patreon supporters preview all videos uploaded to YouTube and get regular access to footage that can't be shown here. Thanks for watching.